Good morning, children. On previous turn, we had studied some common laboratory apparatuses in chapter first of chemistry, right? In chapter first, we had studied separating funnel, china dish, watch glass, mortar and pestle, iron stand, tripod stand, and spirit lamp. Up to spirit lamp, we had completed. Today we are going to study Bunsen burner. Students, what is Bunsen burner? A Bunsen burner consists of a base made of cast iron with a vertical tube rising from it. Okay, means at the base, I can show you, students. See, this is your Bunsen burner. Okay. It is Bunsen burner. So at the base there is a stand made up of cast iron, means there is a stand made up of iron, and a vertical tube comes out from this stand. Now when gas is supplied in this burner, so the gas will come out through this nozzle. Okay, through this nozzle the gas will come out and we can burn it by the help of matchstick, right? And we can heat anything. So this was about Bunsen burner. Okay, now the next is wire gauze. What is wire gauze? Students, this is a net-like mesh of interconnected strands of wire. It may also have a white ceramic circle imprinted on it. A wire gauze helps to spread out heat evenly. An object like a beaker placed over a wire gauze receives some more uniform heat from the burner. Means, you can see, students, this is your wire gauze, right? It is a network like structure made up of iron wires. Okay, these are the iron wires by which, like this wire gauze is created, and in the center there is a white color substance, white color ceramic plate is present. Ceramic is a substance, students, whose white color plate made up of ceramic placed here on the wire gauze. Okay, and what is its use? What is the use of wire gauze? So that the heat can spread evenly. Means if you will directly keep the beaker over the burner, right? If you will keep you will keep the beaker over the burner, it will be heated at only one place and it can break. But by the help of wire gauze, the heat is evenly distributed. If you will keep a beaker over here on wire gauze, the heat will evenly distributed in all the direction and beaker will not be broken down. So this was about wire gauze. Now the next is reagent bottle. Students, these are the bottles, glass bottles, in which chemicals are kept. Reagents means chemicals are kept, and at the top of these bottles the cork or the stop cork is placed so that the chemical do not leak. So you can see, students, this is a reagent bottle, right? In these bottles different chemicals are kept. Okay, now burette. This is burette. What is burette, students? A burette is a cylinder made of glass. It has a volumetric graduation on its full length, a stopcock at the bottom, and it is used to dispense an accurate amount of the liquid. Means, what is the meaning of this? Means, students, burette is a glass tube made up of glass. Okay, you can see it is burette. It is made up of glass, and there is division. There is measurement scale is printed on it. Okay, so that the fixed amount can be leaked from this burette, right? Students, at the bottom of the burette there is a stopcock present. This is a stopcock, and through this, if we want to pour any fixed amount of liquid, then the liquid we will fill in this burette, and when we will open that stopcock, the liquid will come outside this burette one drop by drop. Okay, so in this way a fixed amount of liquid can be leaked through this burette. Okay, now the next is one more, students, pipette is there. What is pipette? This is pipette. What is pipette? Pipette is a long and very narrow glass tube which is used to measure, dispense a known volume of liquid. Pipettes with varying capacities are available. Means, students, this you can see, this is your pipette, right? It is a very narrow glass tube, and what is the function of pipette? Students, whenever we want to take out some small amount of liquid from a bottle or from anything, small amount of liquid, then we take this burette and we suck it. Okay, one end of the pipette we will dip in the bottle in the chemical, and from other end we suck it slowly. We suck at that pipette so that the small amount of liquid can come in this pipette. Okay, so we have to suck it like you suck na with a straw, you suck na cold drink, in same way you have to suck it the chemicals with the help of pipette. Okay, so this was all about pipette. Now the next is measuring cylinder. What is measuring cylinder, students? A measuring cylinder is a vessel made of either plastic or glass. It is used to measure the volume of water or other liquids. It has a flat base and a lip at the top, which makes the pouring of measured liquid easier. It is available in different volumes. Means, students, this measuring cylinder can be made up of glass also, can be made up of plastic also. You can see this is the measuring cylinder. Okay, sometimes it is made up of glass and sometimes it is made up of plastic. And what is the function of it? Through measuring cylinder we can measure any liquid, that what amount of liquid we need, 10 ml, 20 ml, we can measure through this measuring cylinder and we can take it. Okay, now the next is gas jar. The next is gas jar. Gas jar is a cylindrical glass container with a broad base and a broad opening used to collect gas evolved as a result of an experiment. Means, students, it is a cylindrical glass container. Its base is broad and broad opening so that we can collect the gas. Okay, in any experiment if we want to collect the gas, we will use gas jar. This is your gas jar, students. See, this is your gas jar. Okay, so with the help of gas jar we can collect gas. If anything we want to, in any experiment we want to collect any gas, we will keep the gas jar inverted over it and we can collect that gas easily in this gas jar. The next is beehive shelf. Beehive shelf is the instrument to support the gas jar. This is your beehive shelf. Okay, it is used to support the it is used to support the gas jar. Means, how you will invert and keep the gas jar over the water or over the experiment? With the help of beehive shelf. Okay, the next is trough. Trough is also, students, is used for, trough is an apparatus which is used for holding water while a gas is being collected over water in a jar placed on a beehive shelf. Okay, means there will be, in this trough there will be water, and after that there will be beehive shelf in which the gas jar will be attached. Okay, and in this way you can collect the gas from in this gas jar, right? From this water you can collect the gas in this gas jar. Okay, so students, this was all about some common laboratory apparatuses. Now we will study precautions to be taken in a chemistry laboratory. Means, what kind of precautions we should take in a chemistry lab. So let's start. Students, while working in a chemistry lab, it is important to take safety precautions, and these are as follows. In chemistry lab, so many precautions we have to keep, otherwise it can be very dangerous for us and for our lab. So these points we should always follow. Always work under the guidance of a teacher in chemistry lab. Always work under the guidance of a teacher. Never do any experiment by yourself. Use safety goggles while working in the lab to prevent any chemical from entering your eyes. Okay, always wear safety goggles, otherwise sometimes the chemicals can be pour over your eyes and it can be very harmful to you. So always use safety goggles. The next is wear a lab coat to protect your clothes from chemicals. To protect our clothes, to protect our skin, we should wear a lab coat, white color lab coat, white color apron you must have seen, so we should wear it, right? The next is never touch or taste any chemical without your teacher's permission. Never touch any chemical or anything. Read the label on the reagent bottle carefully before taking any chemical. If you want to take any chemical, then read the label which is pasted on the reagent bottle very carefully. Read the label very carefully, otherwise it can be very dangerous to you. Use only small quantity of chemicals, very small quantity of chemicals you should take. You should not take very large amount of chemicals. Okay. Wash the apparatuses after conducting the experiment. Always after the experiment we should wash our apparatus. Wash your hands thoroughly after finishing the experiment, and also we should wash our hands, right? And maintain discipline in the laboratory. This is most important, students, that maintain discipline in your chemistry lab. Otherwise, if you will make noise, any bad thing may happen due to the disturbance of mind. So always maintain a silent and discipline in the laboratory. Okay, so students, this was all about precautions to be taken in a chemistry lab. Now there is a topic, development of chemistry. So students, this development of chemistry, a historical perspective, and the next, from magic to science, this all we will study on next. Thank you.